If you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a member today. Members get early access to videos, access to all the stream VODs, and exclusive access to emotes as well. So if you'd like to support the channel, become a member today. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. What did you want to debate today?
What we were talking about earlier.
Did we already debate before?
ADHD.
Oh, okay. What did you want to talk about with ADHD?
I basically agree, as we're just talking about, I basically agree with Matt Walsh here.
Okay.
I think ADHD is a fabrication of the pharmaceutical industry, in order to, how do you say this? In order to get money out of people. That's what I think it is.
Don't you think that's a little silly if for all the conditions that, so if your conspiracy is true, like if pharmaceutical companies can kind of just invent things to sell drugs, why would they invent something to sell a drug that is so powerful, easy to abuse, and is now controlled and heavily restricted by the DA? Don't you think that seems a little bit silly for their profits? Like, the war on drugs was still going on then, so it doesn't seem like a very profitable move.
Yeah,
why not invent something like, hey, there's a new cold and you have to go buy this like over-the-counter stuff?
Here's the thing: the word that on drugs doesn't really apply here because the word on drugs was on narcotics and things like that. So it wasn't really on pharmaceutical drugs per se. It was much more things like jailing people who had like 1 gram of cocaine and stuff like that, you know?
Sure, but there's also heavy restrictions around all the medications involving ADHD treatment.
Sure. So
you realize this. Well, hold on. So that you realize this doesn't make any sense because meth is a controlled substance. Adderall obviously is not meth, but it's a similar chemical makeup. So it doesn't make sense if your goal was profit margins that you would invent an illness and then invent a treatment that is actually heavily restricted because of its close likelihood to an already illicit drug. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It's not perfect, but it still turns out a huge profit. I mean, you know how the pharmaceutical lobbyists pay off the government, right?
I mean, I don't think we even need to get into that entirely yet. I want you to answer my question. If the pharmaceutical companies can make so much money, why would they, of all the medications, decide this is the thing that helps? And why are people with ADHD able to say that it helps? Why does it help them?
All right. So first off, first off, here's what I'd say. Maybe their calculations aren't perfect. Clearly, this is a cash cow with them. So that's my logic behind it.
Okay, so but I'm saying your logic is not logic, it's illogical. So you can look at brain scans and literally see when somebody has ADHD. Did you know that?
But then why isn't that a requirement to be diagnosed with it?
Because you can't require a brain scan to diagnose somebody with something. That would be ridiculous. That would be more expensive as well.
Oh. So then we don't know. So then don't you think that's
we don't know? Yes, we do. We know based on symptoms and consistency of those symptoms.
I think this is just the medicalization of normal human behaviors. I mean,
nobody think wants a lot of things, but you're not making any sense. So I'm showing you right here how MRI technique may help prevent ADHD misdiagnosis. So it sounds like some people do use this for diagnoses as well.
But not all. That's the point, dude. That's the point, dude.
It doesn't have to be.
And
that's what I'm trying to explain.
What'd you say?
It doesn't have to be. So one, there's 2 layers here to the argument, okay? One, if we're able to look at people that have ADHD, how do we know to do those brain scans of people with ADHD? It's based on what they tell us. Their symptoms, okay? The same way that you're diagnosed. So that's how these people were even selected. And then upon doing the brain scans, they found that there was a massive difference in the brain matter in somebody with ADHD versus somebody without it, meaning it is literally not a fabrication. That's the first step.
He also noted that
Do you understand that?
And I should go F myself.
I'm not sure how much of this I believe. I believe a lot of this is big pharma funded junk science, but
Okay, I don't know how to talk to somebody like you because you're living in la la land. They have 45 subjects in 3 age-matched groups. Let's see, I'm
What'd you
trying to
say?
find a picture.
find the picture, bro.
Let's see.
Also, I just want to say, although you and Matt supposedly both have ADHD, Matt is doing like 5,000 times better than you.
Cool. So if we're able to see this then, here's a picture too. Constant fidgeting, daydreaming, disorganization, finding it hard to sit still, hyperactivity, impulsive actions, inability to delay gratification. That's what I struggle with a lot. Lack of focus, procrastination, risk-taking. How brain scans work. Yeah, you can literally see a massive difference in the brains of somebody with ADHD versus someone who doesn't. So before we argue anything else, you need to at least contend with this, because if what I'm telling you is true, then ADHD cannot be made up. It's not just made up.
No, these are just normal behaviors in humans. These are not.
Why are
These
people
are
with
not.
ADHD struggling and suffering in so many ways and have also other kinds of issues that hinder their ability to succeed in life or pursue the most fulfilling life? And then they all also have similarities with their brains. You're telling me this is all just made up?
Basically, it's just coincidence, man. People struggle in life. People have different
Do you think any mental illness is real?
I mean, I do, but I don't. But I basically am agreeing. I'm taking the Matt Walsh position. Matt Walsh does not deny all mental illnesses.
So what mental illness do you think is real?
What do you say?
What?
There's like schizophrenia, things like that. I don't want to list every single mental illness. That would kind of be pointless, but
Okay. I'm not even sure how we know if somebody has schizophrenia. I don't know if we can see that in brain scans or not. But why do you think schizophrenia is legit?
what did you say?
Why do you think that schizophrenia is legitimate? Because there's not as many people being diagnosed with it?
That's not the reason. Maybe I'm getting the symptoms wrong. Isn't there like that schizophrenia actually thinks someone's talking to you, something like that, when they're not? I could be getting that mixed up.
Yeah, but how are you going to know that? How do you know they're not just faking it? Listen, that's just a normal part of your thoughts. When you think, you can hear, you know how you can like think in your head and like talk in your head if you wanted to? That's just part of that. Like, this is just medicating people for having thoughts.
No, the thing is, people with schizophrenia, they actually think that someone else is in the room with them talking. And
how do we know that? Maybe they're just making that up. Just like the person with ADHD could just be making it up, right?
Okay, now you're just strawmanning me.
No, I'm not. You're saying that we would just be going based on the ADHD person saying it?
Excuse me. Here's the thing. I'm not accusing all the people of lying per se. I'm accusing the pharmaceutical companies of lying, not accusing individual patients.
Sorry, could you say that again? I missed that.
I'm accusing the pharmaceutical companies of lying to us. I'm not saying all these people are just making shit up. I'm saying it's
okay, but if they're lying to us, then that's a separate issue. What we're talking about here is it a legitimate thing? You said you think it's fake. So this is the largest imaging study of its kind, finds that people diagnosed with ADHD have altered brains. It identifies size differences in several brain regions and the brain overall, with the greatest differences seen in children rather than adults. The researchers say that the findings from brain images of more than 3,000 people provide strong evidence that ADHD is a disorder of the brain.
So what do you want me to say that?
I want you to please answer how this is possible if it's made up.
Again, I think A, there's coincidence in it. B, I'm just wondering who this is funded by, because I'd wonder if there's any conflicts of interest in here. What'd you say?
NIH?
Who are they funded by?
National Institute of Health? I would have to look into that. Isn't that a government thing?
Yeah, so that means they're paid off by pharmaceutical executives.
See, this is the conspiracy. This is how you're able to like run away from stuff. There's no evidence that they're paid off by this. There isn't. How come I guarantee you, if I wanted to, I could search like Swedish study ADHD brain, and find it, and it would have nothing to do with big pharma here in the U.S.
Okay, not everything is big pharma in the U.S. It's big pharma in other countries.
A Swedish twin study, symptoms of autism and ADHD in Sweden. Is
Okay,
big pharma
did
a global thing, or is it simply in the U.S.?
I mean, there's different big pharmas. I'm not saying the U.S. obviously isn't the only country with a big pharma.
Okay. So in places like Sweden, does Sweden have free healthcare?
I honestly don't know. I know they have some sort of socialized
Universal health coverage. Okay, so here's a Swedish study, ADHD in Swedish 3 to 7-year-old children. Okay, this was published a little while back in 2001. But still, all that I'm getting at here is here's another country saying that ADHD is legit, and they also have no profit incentive. So there's no way that they would be paid off there.
Do we know that they're not lying?
Yes, we do, because you can then confirm with the people that have ADHD that can say, yes, these are my symptoms, and yes, here's how the medicine helps me. There is too much synchronization across the board with this condition for it to all just be made up.
I think again, these are just, it is normal to have difficulty sitting in a classroom paying attention to some boring ass problem, you know?
Yeah, that's not all that ADHD is. It's not just having a hard time sitting still in a boring classroom.
Yeah, it's not just that, obviously. It's not just that what they claim. Everything that listed out there is just normal human behaviors. Don't you think?
Why?
Matt had a good point.
It's not. Why is it so hard for people with ADHD to get motivated and to do things that's easy for other people?
I don't know. I don't know. We like some of us are just lazy, and people.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, Matt, since you're saying he has ADHD, I mean, Matt was clearly motivated enough, and now he's doing obviously better than you. You know,
I'm pretty motivated. I'm a streamer and everything. So yeah, I think you're just you're not understanding because. You're not. I feel like you're not really answering the question why it's harder for people with ADHD to do things that isn't as hard for people without ADHD.
I don't know. All our brains are different, man. That's what I'm saying.
But then why is there so much connection and so much similarity with the brains of people with this one supposed fake condition who all have similar struggles in the same kind of areas?
I think it's just a coincidence. What about people who struggle with this kind of stuff and don't have those brain scans?
They don't struggle with it the same way. And if they did, then they might have ADHD. What do you mean? I have talked to people that don't have ADHD, okay? I'm friends with some people that don't have ADHD, okay? I can tell you there's a stark difference when you are with somebody that doesn't have ADHD versus someone that does. You're not really answering. Sure? You're kind of just telling me your opinion. Like you think they're all made up. You think it's all lying. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, what? Because you're not skilled.
Because I'm not what?
Look, I think you're just. Look, here's the thing. I just think you're jealous of Matt Walsh. To be honest. You see that. He's supposedly he has ADHD. So Matt is clearly.
We were going over the video where he himself said that he has all the symptoms of ADHD.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Matt clearly is motivated, and he's doing like, I don't know the math, but he's doing hundreds of times better than you financially now.
It doesn't matter who's doing better than him. It doesn't matter. When my channel first started blowing up, I had unmedicated ADHD then. It's not. It doesn't mean that you're never motivated to do anything. In fact. Hopefully, I know for me, a lot of the times I get stimulation from doing streams and stuff. So it's a little bit easier for me to do this than it might be for me to say clean up or do the dishes or something like this.
So the meds actually made your channel worse for you. That's what. So you admit it now.
No, my meds did not make my channel worse for me. What are you talking about? Actually, if you look at my statistics, you'll see the year of 2022 was when I first got on ADHD meds, and that's also when my productivity spiked. You can look at my statistics there.
Right, to be fair, back in 2022, you were already in the shit can. So,
Okay. I mean, it sounds like you're kind of mad right now. Are you okay? Like, it sounds like you have something. It sounds like you have some underlying grievances against me, and you're trying to like suppress it or something. What's your problem?
how am I mad? I'm not mad at all.
You're
I'm
taking every
very
opportunity
happy.
you can to throw like little cheap insults at me. I haven't actually insulted you once. And usually I get a lot of heat for being quick to insult and whatever.
I'm not one of those people. Okay, I don't do civility politics.
Well, thankfully
I
I
do
don't either
insult.
because you're totally a. By the way, your dad left you. I'm sorry.